All Renegades of Puck to the trenches. It's time for Renegades of Puck TV. Welcome to the bunker. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. Welcome to the essence of no half-steppin'. Remember, to know anything about the Renegades of Puck, simply go to renegadesofpuck.com. Right there is where you will find all of the access points and information about everything related to the Renegades of Puck, especially our merchandise page. Click on that link right there, and you will find our basic logo t-shirt. We've got that thing marked down at cost. Never too late to get a last-minute holiday gift for your loved Renegade out there. We also have those great Pride logo t-shirts that people have been buying up and loving and supporting, and we sure do appreciate that. That means a whole lot to us. And we've got plenty of other gimmicks there on the site. Just about anything you can think of, including socks, throw pillows. Well, we've got it. We've created, and it's in our online store. So go check out that link right there on renegadesofpuck.com. Remember, the Renegades of Puck have sold out, so you can buy in. Social media, we need your support on all of those platforms, and you can find us almost everywhere. Please give us a subscription on YouTube and watch all of the latest updated episodes of Renegades of Puck TV. We are producing a lot of content as of late, and we sure do appreciate just 2 months into the operation how much support you guys are giving us, and we need to continue doing more, bringing in the Renegades one at a time, and we do that through social media. You can find us on every single platform. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Instagram, and of course, you can find the Renegades of Puck on Twitch. That is where you'll find our behind-the-scenes stream that shows you all of the details, everything from the prep to the post and everything that we do, a little bit of therapy and sometimes some bonus content. And yes, if there are mistakes, second takes, anything like that, you'll get them right there on our live stream on our Twitch feed at Renegades of Puck. And also, when there are mistakes, that is the only place you'll see them. You'll get the information on that feed before anybody else does. The fully produced episodes of Renegades of Puck TV will appear on YouTube a little bit later than that, and the audio version of the show on SoundCloud will appear just after that. So many ways to consume the essence of no half-stepping right here in the bunker with the Renegades of Puck. And remember, you can always become a partner of the show by going to Venmo or just scanning the QR code right there on your screen. We sure would appreciate any donation you can give us. I'm starting to run out of pens, and I'm starting to run out of black ink to take all the notes on these games. So I'd appreciate some new pens over the holidays, Renegades. So anything you can do to help us out. Remember, I'm investing every dollar you guys donate through the Venmo account back into the bunker, into the studio, and into the project itself for the Renegades of Puck. We have a lot of big plans, and we've already invested some things that we can't quite talk about because we haven't gotten a green light yet, but I sure hope to be able to bring you some more information soon. So remember, that's Venmo, Renegades of Puck. That's how you can become a partner of the show. We've got some incredible partners and sponsors of the show that I look forward to telling you about throughout the episode. But for right now, you've come for the no half-step in hockey coverage, so let's get right into it. Your Nashville Preds find themselves, after tonight's action, sitting second place in the Central Division after 29 games played. They have a record of 18-10-1, and they have 37 points on the season. That puts them 3 points behind first place Minnesota. So the Nashville Preds, with their victory tonight and the Minnesota Wild's loss in the shootout to Buffalo, gained a point on first place Buffalo, as well as passing over the now third place St. Louis Blues and the fourth place Colorado Avalanche. After that, you'll find the Winnipeg Jets, the Dallas Stars, and the Nashville Preds' next opponent in seventh place, the Chicago Blackhawks. The Blackhawks have played 28 games on the season, have a record of 11-15-2, and have 24 points. The Preds sit 13 points currently ahead of the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, the Preds on the road, impressive 9-5-1 record at this point in the season, while the Chicago Blackhawks are breaking barely even at home at 6-6-1. The Preds have scored 86 goals on the year, while the Blackhawks have only scored 67. The Blackhawks have given up 90, the Preds only 77. We've got a lot to get into and look at in this matchup when it comes to the season series between these two teams. For the Nashville Preds, frankly, on the most disappointing games of the season list, well, the first game on the 7th of November against the Blackhawks in Chicago, it is certainly on that list. The Preds fell 2-1 in overtime. UC Saros stood as tall as he could, 30 out of 32. Carrier got the only goal for the Preds in the game, but the Nashville Preds overall looked listless and lifeless on their way to only 21 shots on net, including the very short overtime session. These two teams will meet two more times First game of the year 2022 will take place on New Year's Day and will be the Nashville Preds at Bridgestone Arena hosting the Chicago Blackhawks. And then near the end of the schedule on April the 16th, the Nashville Preds will host the Blackhawks one final time. Once the Nashville Predators wrap up this game with Chicago, the second night of back-to-backs, Sunday they will be in Carolina before coming back home and facing off against the Winnipeg Jets on Tuesday night. And then Thursday they head off to take on the Florida Panthers. Then you hit the Christmas break. They come back from the Christmas break on the 27th at Dallas and the 29th at Washington. Now, the big storyline going around not just the Nashville Predators, but the entire NHL is the number of players on the COVID list. Now, the Nashville Predators, it's not just players, but it's also coaches. Johansson, Granlund, McCarron, Tomasino, Luff, Cousins, and Harper all on the COVID list right now. And on the coaching staff, Hines, Heino, Lambert, Richards, and Vanderklok also all on the coaching staff. Emergency call-ups all over the place, playing 11 forwards and 7D. Whatever it takes right now to get things done, I think that's the way you're just going to have to handle it. As Philip Forsberg said in the post-game comments tonight, it's a different world. You've got to prepare for just about anything, and the Nashville Predators have been able to do that. You're going to have to weather the storm until you start getting some of these star players back. Now, on the injury front for the Nashville Predators, non-COVID related, good news, Matt Duchene could be back in this game for the Chicago Blackhawks. He was almost prepared to play in tonight's game before being a scratch, so that means he should be ready to go, hopefully by tomorrow night, because the Nashville Predators could certainly use Matt Duchene's 13 goals and 12 assists for 25 points back in the lineup this season, because with Granlund and Johansson also out of the lineup, Tomasino out of the lineup, that is a lot of offensive power for the Nashville Predators. Statistically, Roman Josi does lead the team in scoring. Now 10 goals on the season, 18 assists for 28 points. Then there's Granlund at 27, Duchene at 25, Ryan Johansson at 24, and Philip Forsberg now at 13 goals and 8 assists is at 21 points. We know that Riddick is going to get the start in this second night of back-to-backs. Got a good record on the season, 3-1, but the save percentage at .880 and the goals against at 3.10 do not look very good. But you've got to remember, Riddick has really taken a couple for the team so far, and it's a very small sample size, so the numbers look more inflated than they necessarily are. So far, I'm very comfortable with Riddick as the backup goaltender of the Nashville Predators. Remember, he didn't get started until very late into the season because he was on the COVID list for so long. So for the Nashville Predators looking to go up against the Chicago Blackhawks, you know some of the individual high-skill talent that they have. Patrick Kane is always lethal and always a problem for the Nashville Predators. 7 goals and 17 assists for 24 points on the season. Former Nashville Predators draft pick Seth Jones, 3 goals and 20 assists for 23 points. DeBrincat also gives the Preds a problem. He's got 16 goals in the season, so he gives a lot of teams a problem. 22 points overall. Hagel scored against the Preds the last time, one of his 8 goals on the season. He's got 6 assists, add that for 14 points. And there's Doc at 4 + 8 for 12. Now, Marc-Andre Fleury gets the primary number of starts for this team, 9 and 10 on the season, a 9.13 save percentage, of 2.85 goals against average. But Kevin Lankinen has also had some success in his early career against this Nashville Predators team. He has a record of 2-5-2, an 8.82 save percentage, and a 3.39 goals against average. So if you see Riddick versus Lankinen in the matchup tomorrow night, you will have 2 goaltenders with a save percentage in the 8 range with a goals against average above 3. Now, the team rankings between these two squads, the Nashville Predators, of course, are going to have more impressive rankings than the Chicago Blackhawks, but let's go through them. Goals for. The Preds are at 2.86. That's good for 17th best in the NHL. Goals against, 2.68 is 11th best in the NHL, while the Chicago Blackhawks are sitting at 2.29 goals per game. That's 29th in the league out of 32 teams. Their goals against is 3.21. That is 23rd in the league. The Blackhawks give up the next most 2 points. Shots on goal in the league at 31st, 31.6, and then power play, they are 16th best in the NHL, 13 out of 67. Of course, when you have Patrick Kane out there on your power play with Seth Jones and DeBrincat, you always have a dangerous opportunity on the power play in the man advantage, and they are converting at 19.3%. Their penalty kill is 22nd overall in the NHL, 79.2%. They've given up 16 power play goals against. For the Nashville Predators, special teams, their power play still rated 8th in the NHL, but they have been sliding now for a little bit of while, 18 out out of 76, 23.7%. And the penalty kill is slipping considerably now, 24th in the NHL. They've given up 18 power play goals against. That is a very high number at this point in the season. So for the Nashville Predators, it has been a very, very interesting 24 hours, and it will continue on as the Nashville Predators will head on out to Chicago immediately. But we've got to go back and find out everything that happened between the Nashville Predators and the Colorado Avalanche at Bridgestone Arena on the first night of these back-to-backs. It's now time for the Rebirth Sports recap of this game between the Nashville Predators and the Colorado Avalanche. RebirthSports.com. Go check out their work right there. And remember, you can also search Rebirth Sports on Facebook and Twitter. This jersey right here. So many other jerseys that you've seen me wearing for the Mighty Drunks while I'm out there playing in league play. Also, what you've seen me wearing in tournaments. They outfit everyone across the hockey landscape, and they don't just make jerseys, they're hockey tailors. They can outfit your entire organization, so make sure you're checking out all of the different things that they do over there at rebirthsports.com. We are so proud to be in the trenches with such a great company and such great people. They're such an incredible team, and I love every time I get the opportunity to talk with them and bounce new and fresh ideas off of them all of the time. What do you say, Renegades of Puck? Should we head for a third jersey someday? Rebirth Sports would love to know your opinions on that. So let them know we were talking about it right here in the trenches on Renegades of Puck TV. Again, rebirthsports.com. Now, your line combinations for this game look dramatically different because of all of the names on the COVID list. So let's roll out Carl Taylor's starting lineup for the Nashville Predators. Forsberg, Sissons, and Janot make up your first line. Tolvin and Novak and Cunnin, then Trenton, Glass, and Olivier on the third line. Smith and Grimaldi, that would be Cole Smith, make up your fourth line, playing 11 forwards tonight instead of the customary 12, playing 7D instead. Yossi and Fabro, Ekholm and Carey, Borowiecki and Benning, and Myers is your extra seventh defenseman. Juuse Saros gets the start in net. Just 9 seconds into the first period. Philip Forsberg's got a shot that has to be stopped by Francouz, getting an emergency start in this game, also because of COVID reasons affecting the Colorado Avalanche. The Preds are very good in the first segment of this period up to the first TV timeout, but overall, the first 10 minutes of this period, messy. And it was expected to be so many players out of the lineup, so many new players in the lineup, no chemistry out there, a lot of missed shots, a lot of disconnecting passes, and overall, it was just kind of a sloppy first 10 minutes of the game. But the Preds were holding their own and playing okay out there. At 10:17 of the first period, Kadri shoots over the top on a great scoring chance. Juuse Saros, I believe, would have made the save, but he did not need to. At 11:38, Saros comes up with a save on Nichushkin off of the rush. At 12:42, Juuse Saros, a save on McKinnon with the glove as he drives the net hard, building the wall, driving the net. Exactly what you would expect out of that big body scoring forward. At 13:23 of the first period, Philip Forsberg scores, putting the Preds on the board first in this game, giving him a 1-0 lead with his 12th goal of the season. It was a wrist shot from the blue line, and you're asking, what is Philip Forsberg doing taking a wrist shot from the blue line, taking advantage of all that traffic in front? Well, he was out there covering for Alex Carrier, who was down around the goal line trying to make a play on the offense. So great recognition and great team play by Philip Forsberg, then rewarded by getting an opportunity to shoot the puck from a position where he normally does not. He converts. The Preds are up 1-0. At 14:40 of the first period, Juuse Saros comes up with a save on Rantanen's backhand from the low circle. At 18:24, Tanner Janot's off the box, 2 minutes for tripping. Juuse Saros does have to come up with one huge save before we hit the end of the first period, with the Nashville Predators not only leading 1-0, but out shooting Colorado 10-9. We do see a carryover on the power play into the second period of 24 seconds, and that's where Juuse Saros has to come up with a huge save on Kadri just as the power play is expiring with the inside of the blocker. Incredible discipline and control by the netminder of the Nashville Predators. At 1:59, Johnson's off the box, 2 minutes for hooking. Then you see Sam Girard heading off to the box as well, 2 minutes for tripping on Trenton's hard charge to the net. We'd see a 5-on-3 opportunity in favor of Nashville for 56 seconds. That's when Colton Sissons would go with a doorstep jam that would be denied by Francouz. Then Francouz would stop a point-blank shot again for the Nashville Predators before coming up with another series of saves on Cunnin and then getting some D support to help clear out some rebounds. Incredible sequence here by the emergency goaltender for the Colorado Avalanche. 6:52 of the second period. Gross is off to the box, 2 minutes for tripping on Trenton again. Trenton doing a great job out there, skating hard and finishing plays. Janot rewarded on this power play with his 7th goal of the season, giving the Nashville Predators a 2-0 lead over the Colorado Avalanche. It was Forsberg on the half wall with the pass to Sissons at the side of the net with the pass to Jeannot in the slot for the finish into the back of the net. Great execution by the Nashville Predators. There were multiple connecting passes leading to the sequence that I just mentioned, but that was the final three, and that's how the assists and the goal would work out. At 8:45 of the second period, carries off the box, 2 minutes for interference on McKinnon. They were battling hard in front of the Nashville Predators net, and Rantanen, he has terrorized the Predators not only this year, but throughout his career. His 14th goal of the season makes the game 2-1, still in favor of the Nashville Predators. His shot went off of some traffic, found its way to Rantanen, who was wide open over by the right circle, and he finishes this play off without any problem at all. At 11:01, Francouz's got a save on the captain of the Nashville Predators, Roman Josi. 13:30 of the second period. Trenton's off to the box, 2 minutes for interference. As Chris Mason would say on the broadcast, Trenton simply too strong on this play. It seemed like they were battling 50-50, and Trenton won the physical battle, and he gets rewarded with 2 minutes in the box. The Nashville Predators, though, bail out Trenton with an outstanding penalty kill. Strong effort by Jeannot and Sissons, his typical line mates, doing the work out there shorthanded. 15:58, Francouz comes up with a save on Smith, ×2 at close range. Cole Smith getting his very limited opportunities in this game, but he did take advantage at this moment. 16:48, Philip Forsberg's got his second goal of the game, his 13th goal of the season. The Nashville Predators are suddenly up 3-1 in the second period. A pass attempt hits Girard's stick and goes straight through the 5-hole and into the net. Thank you, Sam Girard. We always knew you would pay off for the Nashville Predators. I kid, but I actually wish Sam Girard was back here on the Nashville Predators. That trade had never happened. Kamenev was also still a Nashville Predator, and the Kyle Turris era had never happened here with the Nashville Predators. But we need to get back to the Rebirth Sports recap of this game. So Forsberg's got his 13th. The Preds have a 3-1 lead at the end of the second period and are also out shooting Colorado 27-14. So the Nashville Predators with 17 shots on goal in the second period. We hit the third period. We're 134 in, and Avi Kubel is off the box, 2 minutes for hooking. The Predators, though, generate 0 shots on goal. This was 2 minutes that were absolutely squandered and wasted. The Preds had an opportunity to step on Colorado and put an end to this, but they did not. 4:40, Novak's got a play to the net, has to be sticked aside by Francouz. 7:09, Cunning's off to the box, 2 minutes for holding, and this took place on the forecheck. Completely unnecessary, all the way down in the offensive zone. Your team has a 2-goal lead. You just simply cannot take a penalty, and it was a lazy penalty, just reaching out with the arm right in front of the referee. UC Saros does have to come up with a huge save on Kadri's redirect, but the Nashville Predators penalty kill would bail Cunnin out on this opportunity. Unfortunately, once the penalty kill was over, just 3 seconds after it was over, Nichushkin's got his 10th goal of the season, making it a 3-2 game. Still in favor of the Nashville Predators, but it is getting a lot closer there in the third period. It was a tip in off of Rantanen's perfect feed just 3 seconds after the power play expired. At 10:39, Francouz comes up with a save on Cunnin on the doorstep. At 11:59, Gross is off to the box again, 2 minutes for cross-checking. That's when we see the captain of the Nashville Predators score his 10th goal of the season. Roman Josi with a wrist shot with plenty of accuracy from the high slot gives the Preds back their 2-goal lead. Now it's 4-2 in favor of Nashville. 13:29, Saros comes up with a save on a long shot through heavy traffic. 13:50, UC Saros comes up with a huge save on Nichushkin. 17:15, we see the empty net scenario, and 17:54, UC Saros has come up with a huge save on Kadri, and he gets plenty of D support, clearing out the rebound. Same thing happens at 18:29 with Saros, a save on Rantanen, then the D support again helps clear the rebound out, and then Ekholm gets the perfect bounce for the empty net goal. It's his first goal of the season, giving the Nashville Predators a 5-2 lead, and that would be your final score in this game. The Nashville Predators win 5-2 and outshoot the Colorado Avalanche 35-25 in this game. With the amount of players being on the COVID list for the Nashville Predators, it turned out to be kind of an even game because the Colorado Avalanche had some equal top-end scoring players out of the lineup. Also, their starting goaltender out of the lineup because of COVID. So what looked like it was going to be a David versus Goliath type of scenario did not turn out to be that way. These two teams were on much more even footing tonight going into this game, and the Nashville Predators came out and did exactly what they had to do. Listen, this was largely a Milwaukee Admirals lineup, but whenever you have Philip Forsberg out there, Roman Josi, and UC Saros, I'm talking about a potential future Vezina winner. I'm talking about a man who's already won the Norris Trophy, and Philip Forsberg has the potential at any point in his career to be a 40-goal scorer if he can remain healthy. With those three out there on the ice for the Nashville Predators and a bunch of hardworking mofos backing them up in the trenches, the Nashville Predators have every opportunity to win games like this each and every night. Now, it's going to be tough going into Chicago now, second night of back-to-backs. I would normally label this a trap game, but we are in such a wildly dramatic and different scenario that it's hard to label anything a trap game right now. It is just necessary for the Preds to go in and play as hard as they can and try to come away with 2 points on the second night of this back-to-back. They're currently on a very good winning streak. They play very good on the road, and they're going to get an opportunity tomorrow night to go in Chicago and make up for what was one of their worst losses of the season, the only overtime loss that they have on the season. That one really sticks out in that column every time I see it, because that game, that result, that effort, it was just incredibly disappointing. You know whose effort wasn't disappointing? UC Saros against the Colorado Avalanche tonight. 24 out of 26, and now on the season he is 14, 8, and 1 of 9, 25 save percentage, of 2.23 goals against average. And anytime UC Saros is out there on the ice and healthy, your hockey club has an opportunity to win. He is a special talent, and coming off of Pekka Rinne's retirement, there were a lot of questions whether UC Saros would be able to handle the load, and whether he would be able to handle the responsibility, and whether he would be truly a number one goaltender in the NHL. Well, there is no doubt in my mind that he is a number one goaltender in the NHL, and he is simply playing incredible hockey for the Nashville Predators this season. One of the reasons they are dramatically over-exceeding expectations. You know who always over-exceeds expectations for me? The starting goaltender of the Renegades of Puck. You can find him on Twitter at GreekGoalie35. He is, of course, MOSTRODAMUS. Mosh, tell me all about it.
Thank you very much, Charlie. A very unorthodox night at Bridgestone Arena with the Nashville Predators playing shorthanded, as were the Colorado Avalanche. Nashville taking this one, of course, by a score of 5-2. As I mentioned, both teams shorthanded. Colorado only playing with 16 skaters out there. Normally you have 20. And Nashville, of course, missing numerous starters from their normal lineup. 3 centers is all they had to put together tonight, and they still came away with the victory. So kudos to them. Kudos to Coach Carl Taylor, Scott Nickel, and the rest of the coaching staff for getting this victory for Nashville. Big game against the Colorado Avalanche. They had come off a 5-game winning streak. The Preds were on a 5-game winning streak. Something had to give. And, of course, Nashville coming out on top. Pavel Francouz, a surprise starter, of course, again. Up until maybe a few hours before puck drop, we weren't even sure this game was going to continue. And actually, Colorado had the option of postponing the game. They decided to go ahead and go forward with it, and they would live to regret that. As I said, Francouz, his first game since March 11th, 2020. First regular season game since March 11th of 2020. I mentioned in the last show that UC Saros hadn't seen the Colorado Avalanche since February 29th of 2020. So that is a long time between regular season starts for Francouz. Didn't look rusty out there. He stopped 38 out of 34, had a pretty solid game. Didn't give up any softies, I don't believe. The goal by Forsberg, the first one, goal by Forsberg, seeing eye puck, never really saw it, got a piece of it with his blocker, went in. Second goal by Forsberg, a deflection off of his own man, Sam Girard, on a pass. That's difficult because he's moving left to right. That immediately opens up the 5-hole. It just so happens that the deflection by Girard went right between the legs for the second goal. So he had a solid game. I'm not going to put this one on him. UC Saros, of course, stopped 24 out of 26. A light workload shots on goal-wise, but had a fantastic night because Colorado did get several high-quality chances that he had to stop. Of course, a couple of breakaways in there. Nazem Kadri, point-blank chances in front. And UC Saros, of course, comes up big once again. He is just proving himself to be in the top level of goaltending in the NHL. I would say top 3 or top 5 at the very worst. He has had an impressive performance so far this season. This is the 17th time in 21 games that UC Saros has surrendered 2 or less goals. What does that mean? That means your goals against are way down, your save percentage is way up, and it gives your team a chance to win every single night he is between the pipes. So again, kudos to UC Saros for hanging in there and getting this victory in front of a shorthanded lineup. Most of the defense was available to them, but of course, the forward line's a big jumbled mess, and they made it work. Tomorrow, Blackhawks in Chicago. They have alternated wins and losses for their last 13 games. Last time they were out, they won against Washington. Well, time to lose again, boys. Nashville, second of back-to-backs, of course, with a shorthanded lineup. We'll see if Matt Duchene gets back in the lineup, of course. It'll be David Riddick between the pipes for the Nashville Predators. He's had very little success against the Chicago Blackhawks in his career. Small sample size, but .856 save percentage, over 4 goals against Chicago in his career. Now, in net for the Nashville Predators. He's won his last 2 games, and the Preds have only given up 37 shots on goal total in those last 2 starts that David Rittich has played in. So playing very tight defensively, and this is something I've argued many years back. When you have your backup goaltender, you tend to play a little bit more conservative in your own zone and not give up so many shots. So Nashville, at least the last couple of times that Rittich has been in there, they have done a fantastic job of limiting the chances he has seen against him. For Chicago, it'll be the first of a back-to-back scenario for them. They play the following night in Dallas. So I would venture to say that Kevin Lankinen gets the start. He had the victory against Nashville earlier this season, stopped 20 out of 21 shots. Not really a big performance by him. It was more a lackluster performance by the Nashville Predators to lose that game in overtime. Only had to see 21 shots on goal against. But I would venture to say Lankinen, after Marc-Andre Fleury had a fantastic performance against Washington, to steal 2 points out of that game. So I would venture to say it's battle of backup goaltenders, lots of high scoring. David Rittich versus Kevin Lankinen in Chicago. Charlie, take it away.
You can find him on Twitter at GreekGoalie35, or you can watch him right here on Renegades of Puck TV. He's been the starting goaltender for the Renegades of Puck for many, many seasons, and we sure do appreciate everything that he does right here in the trenches, talking about what happens between the pipes. Want to tell you about one of our incredible partners right here, Strong Style Fit. Tracy jumped in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck and led a Sunday stretching session recently that was for absolute beginners. And I know a bunch of you have been out there working your way through those beginning exercises and working your way up to the next sets of exercises. On YouTube, Strong Style Fit, 150 recorded workouts on demand, ready for you from beginner to expert, any fitness level that you have. Tracy talks you through it. She lets you know exactly what you need to handle the workout. And trust me, Renegades of Puck, if you follow her instruction and you follow along, you will get a certified personal trainer helping you out each and every day, and you'll be able to do that on demand. It's a completely free service to you, and Strong Style Fit is so generous to do that for each and every one of you Renegades of Puck. Get up, get moving, get motivated. A happy renegade is a healthy renegade. So I need you guys to jump up and check out Strong Style Fit. Go to Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter and just search Strong Style Fit, or go to strongstylefit.com. Stick taps to Strong Style Fit. We sure do appreciate everything they do as partners here with the Renegades of Puck. Now listen, Carl Taylor, you talk about some stick taps. Talk about an emergency call-up. The head coach of the Milwaukee Admirals suddenly finds out that the last remaining coach on the Nashville Predators staff has come down with COVID and tested positive. So now he gets the emergency call-up to coach the Nashville Predators tonight. A surreal 24 hours in the life of Carl Taylor, I am sure, and Sean C. Smith was out there on the front lines. He had a chance to talk with the coach after the game. Now, Carl Taylor will continue on with the Nashville Predators to Chicago and continue leading the team. I'll let Sean C. Smith take it from there, and I'll follow it with my thoughts. You can find him on Twitter at SCSOTF, and of course, you can read his work at ontheforecheck.com or see him on a myriad of podcasts across the Nashville Predators coverage and landscape. He is, of course, Sean C. Smith.
Thanks, Charlie. Hey, Renegades, it's Sean C. Smith. Just got back from Bridgestone Arena. I'm going to tell you, I got rained on a few times getting in there. It was cold when I got in there because I was wet, but I didn't half step. I got in the arena. I covered the game. And I'll tell you, when I knew that I got to cover this game in person, I knew I was in for a treat, because anytime you have any kind of chaos going on, you know that you're going to see something exciting and different. Now, it wasn't exactly what I had planned on. I was expecting, as we talked about yesterday, to see Dan Hinote be the head guy behind the bench. But we found out earlier on before the game that Dan Hinote had to enter into the COVID protocol along with Nick Cousins, and that he would not be making his head coaching debut. Of course, John Hines is still the head coach. Anything that happens on the ice is going to be credited to his record. But instead of Dan Hinote, we got a surprise. We got to see the Milwaukee Admirals head coach, Carl Taylor, step in behind the bench for the Predators. Now, I am a Carl Taylor fanatic. I'm going to tell you, I love Carl Taylor. I love what he's doing in Milwaukee. And I don't mean that on oh, yeah, he does good stuff. The boys win some games. I mean, the way he coaches, the way he develops players is incredible. And having someone like him in this organization, even though it's one step below the NHL level, does incredible things for the Predators at the NHL level, because the players that they get coming up are ready to go when they hit the ice. You saw a lot of guys come up last season. Matthew Olivier, even Ellie Tolvanen benefited from time with Carl Taylor. And of course, who can forget Tanner Jeannot? These are all guys that spent time with Carl Taylor and are all the better for it. And here they are in Nashville playing. As he said tonight, they're not just up here to be up here. They're driving. They are playing the big minutes. They're doing what they need to do to make sure that not only do they have a place on the team, but that the team does well. Now, Carl Taylor got to be the head coach tonight. Of course, it was a win. And of course, that doesn't get credited to Carl Taylor as his first NHL win as a head coach. He was just the guy behind the bench for John Hynes tonight. Now, even though we didn't get to see any first goals by any of these call-ups, we did get to see what I would like to consider to be Carl Taylor's first win. It won't go on his record, but anyone who was there, anyone who watched the game knows that Carl Taylor stood behind that bench and got the W. So here's what I'm going to say. Carl Taylor, after the game, said that he coached so many of these guys in Milwaukee that it wasn't that crazy for him. It was almost like coming in and putting on a nice pair of shoes that you had in the garage. Just very comfortable, very familiar. So he's going to be with the team. He said himself that he would be traveling with the team to Chicago. People coming in and out of the protocol, we don't really know what's going to happen. It's definitely an uncertain future. But for right now, as long as John Hynes and the rest of his coaching staff is under that protocol, the team's in excellent hands with Carl Taylor, and I'm looking forward to see what he can do. Now, I don't know what the future holds. We're going to hope for more hockey, but the important thing is everybody staying safe. And I just want to say, we get these lineup sheets at the arena. I'm going to hold that up for you. See these blank spaces here? Wait, there they are. See these blank spaces? Usually don't have blank spaces on this sheet. And so to see those blank spaces, hearing that the Avalanche had to take a vote as to whether or not they even wanted to play, considering they started the game with 15 skaters, although Jack Johnson did come out and join the team, making it 16, is definitely not a great situation to be in for anybody. The NHL's canceling games or postponing games for other teams, yet the Predators had to play with a depleted roster, a lot of AHL call-ups, and a coaching staff that wasn't able to be there. The Avalanche had to play with barely enough guys to ice a team. And that's not where anybody wants to be. So I'm going to wish for safety and health for all these guys. And Charlie, I'm going to send it back over to you.
You can find him on Twitter at SCSOTF. You can read his work on theforecheck.com. Watch him right here on Renegades of Puck TV and check out his incredible work from the front lines. Sean, I sure do appreciate all of your hard work jumping out there into the trenches on the front lines tonight at Bridgestone Arena and talking about Carl Taylor. Listen, that's big time. The combination, the connection that these players have with Carl Taylor from their time in Milwaukee, it's simply incredible. There was very little chemistry going into the game tonight, but Carl Taylor seemed to put the players that were in the lineup at ease, and they played hard in front of him tonight. I look forward to them doing the same thing tomorrow night in Chicago against the Blackhawks. So thank you, Sean C. Smith. We sure do appreciate your commentary right there, and look forward to your comments after the Blackhawks game tomorrow. Let's get into some of the numbers. Let's get into the box score. Your goal scored for tonight. Of course, Philip Forsberg got 2 goals in this game. Tanner Jeannot chips in with 1. Matthias Ekholm gets the empty netter, and your captain, Roman Josi, gets his 10th goal of the season. On the assist side of things, Philip Forsberg gets an assist to equal out his 3-point night. Tanner Jeannot also adds an assist to his goal, so a 2-point night right there. Colton Sissons, you ask him to step up, you ask him to play first-line minutes. Well, he delivered the world-class distribution service tonight. 3 assists in this game for Colton Sissons, and also he played 25 minutes for a forward. That is an incredible amount of ice time. Also getting assists in this game, Alex Carrier adds 2 shots on goal. Tanner Jeannot had 4 to lead the team. Also Matthias Ekholm, Roman Josi had 5 on net to lead the team. In hits, you're looking at 3 as your high, and a number of players had 3. Dante Fabro, Cole Smith, Colton Sissons, and also Tanner Jeannot at 3. And I mentioned 25 minutes in time on ice, but Tanner Jeannot at 24:10, also an incredible amount of time. Matthias Ekholm led the defenseman in time on ice at 23:49. So for some of these forwards and defensemen, the Nashville Predators were able to rest them in advance of tomorrow night's game against the Chicago Blackhawks. Unfortunately, I don't think that was the case with Rocco Grimaldi, though, only skating 9 minutes and 6 seconds tonight, and frankly was ineffective in his time on the ice, and that's unfortunate. I thought this was a real opportunity for Rocco Grimaldi to get a chance to come back, play in Nashville, be reinvigorated, and get out there. But hopefully there will be something better for him tomorrow night. Listen, the box score, the numbers, brought to you by Stripe Digital Solutions. You know a lot about Stripe Digital Solutions because you've been watching Renegades of Puck TV and you've been listening to me talk about them for a very long time. Stripe Digital Solutions not only helped me design the logo you see on the wall behind me on the jersey that I'm wearing right now, but also helped build and create the website, renegadesofpuck.com, and also now is helping me manage my digital platforms across the board and helping me come up with my plan in how I'm going to build this brand. And that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions can do for you. Done such an incredible job for the Renegades of Puck. I want you to be in business with Stripe Digital Solutions so that you can experience that as well. Go to stripedigitalsolutions.com or Stripe Digital Solutions Facebook and Instagram. Let Brandy know that we were talking about Stripe Digital Solutions right here in the trenches on Renegades of Puck TV. Listen, they're an incredible service, absolutely incredible local business here to the Tennessee area, and just great people. We have great partners. We work with great people. We have great viewers. The Renegades of Puck are awesome and amazing people. We are building something here that's going to be a force of positivity and goodness. And you know what? It's going to take a while to do that. We're going to have to claw and scratch and dig these trenches 1 inch at a time. You have no idea where this vision started so many years ago and how far it's progressed to where we are right now. We are across so many platforms. Now the only thing we need to do is continue adding more Renegades, bringing you guys in one by one. If everybody goes out there and recruits one Renegade, we can double our ranks in a matter of days, weeks. We can continue doubling. Every couple of weeks, we can make the audience bigger and bigger. We need to be a force for positivity. You understand what we're up against. You understand it's not just the algorithm on social media. It's the negativity. It's the toxicity. It's the culture itself that we're trying to fight for and that we're trying to change. And if you're not willing to jump in the trenches and try to make that happen, then how am I supposed to lead this hockey trench warfare from the bunker? All right, let's get out there on the front lines. Let's start recruiting Renegades. Let's start getting more and more people into the trenches. I'm counting on you, Renegades. You created all of this. This is because of you. You spoke this into existence. You demanded that there be more exclusive coverage of the hockey team and the product and the sport that you love. You've got it now. So now that we have it, what are we going to do with it? We're going to spread the word. We're going to pass it on. We're going to spread the links, likes, follows, subscriptions. None of that costs anybody anything. It's free, it's quick, it's easy, and it helps us tremendously. If you want to be a partner with the show, I can create a sales package and put your logo all over the screen. And believe me, I will deliver the goods for your business. All you got to do is let me know. Tell me, renegadesofpuck@gmail.com. Email me right there. Let me know. I'll come up with a package that's not only affordable, but it's perfect for your business, and it's also perfect for the Renegades of Puck. We're not just looking to do business. We're looking for partners, and we're looking for partners that meet the Renegades of Puck standards. I love you guys so much. I am so appreciative of each and every one of you jumping in the trenches. For MOSTRODAMUS, for Sean C. Smith, for Bryan, Bastin, for Kyle Perkins, for the Ultimate One. I got a lot of guys right now that are on IR just like the hockey team itself that we're talking about and covering, but we're going to jump in the trenches, and we're going to be back tomorrow night after the Blackhawks game bringing you new, fresh content as we're going to continue to do for each and every game of the season, and then we're going to continue expanding from there outside of the Nashville Predators bubble to covering more NHL, AHL, college, high school, rec league, beer league, all of it. We're going to cover all of it. We're going to do it all. Once we build it, we will be able to do more and more. The day and time is coming for that. The day and the age of Renegades is here, and we're going to do something about it. Stick taps, love and respect. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier.